Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode number 535 and Doubleshot number 442. Two trades, which happen to be collecting the last issues for these two respective series before they return to the triple-digit numbering. First up, it is Avengers Unleashed, Volume 2, Secret Empire, collecting the issues 6 to 11 of Avengers Volume 6, which has been confirmed to be issues, I believe this is, just want to be sure about this one. Because, well, the series did return to its triple-digit numbering last year, and these were the last issues released under that triple-digit numbering. Though, because of Marvel's fresh start, this series is one of several series hitting the restart button with fresh start, which I think is stupid. I love new creative team, which is Jason Aaron and McGinnis, but yeah, no need for the restart at all. I just want to be sure about this one, because let's see. Here we go. Since this book contains 5 issues, and it resumed with 72 was the issue, 672. Take away 5 issues from that, that's like, I'm thinking that is, so this would be like 668 to 600 and I'd say probably 71. Now, these 5 issues are 5 standalones. It's not a complete story arc. Nope. The first one is, well, the Avengers hang out at the Avengers Tower, and then they're contacted by the Doctor Doom Iron Man to handle a supernatural problem. And apparently, despite the fact all the Avengers except one do not trust him, the only one who actually has a decent conversation with him is Nydia, who knows all about him and even mentions his time machine. It was a great story, I gotta admit that. The following story is the return of Avenger X from the .1 issues. I think it was like 5.1 to I think it was like 5.5. Yeah, it's that mini series that takes place, according to the way Mark Waid retconned it, takes place kind of during issue 16, between issues 16 and 17, Avengers Volume 1. Yeah, it was nice that he brought the character back, and the way she's defeated is bizarre. Like, Nydia shrinks her down into the microverse and traps her there. And lucky enough, Doctor Doom had already mapped the microverse, so he already knew exactly what to look for. 9 is just, well, what the female Thor was up to during Secret Empire. 10 is a standalone issue featuring the Hydra version of the Avengers, which consisted of, get this, the Superior Doctor Octopus, Thor Odin's son, well, basically referred to as the Unworthy Thor, Deadpool, Taskmaster, Black Ant, and I believe a brainwashed Vision. Which, in Secret Empire, if you read the whole story, there is no explanation of why the heck he's taken out by a freaking virus. Heck, that's one of 2 things that in Secret Empire that was never explained at all. It's like, oh, he works for Steve Rogers because he's under control of a virus. Scarlet Witch works for him because she's possessed by a demon. When the heck did this happen? Yeah. In here, it doesn't bother to explain that at all. Like, oh yeah, we see the real Vision, he's trapped in his own damn body. The last issue is an aftermath issue set right after the events of Secret Empire. And of course ties into what was going on in Amazing Spider-Man, where Peter had shut down his own company, and because of that, the Avengers got locked out of their HQ. So as of right now, the Avengers don't have base operations. And I think they kind of moved back into the mansion. But despite that, what happened there? So after this, it returned to its triple-digit numbering for 2 story arcs, and now it's going to restart number 1. With first a crossover with Champions, which I'm going to get that trade soon, and of course doing the Surrender storyline. It's written by Mark Waid, with artwork by several different artists. You have Phil Noto on issues 7 through 8, and Mike Del Muto on issues 9 through 11. All 5 issues are great, and Wade knows what he's doing. It doesn't feel like he's running out of ideas or burning out. These were 5 really good issues. And I do recommend this people are fans of Wade and Avenger fans because, well, there's a small little reference at issue 7 where Nydia finds Carol Danvers' old gloves when she was Miss Marvel. Yeah, it's like, why is her gloves going up my arms? Why do the Avengers have these opera gloves? And then I think it's Vision said, yeah, that's what Carol used to wear when she was Miss Marvel. The Captain Marvel used to wear these? Awesome. That's one thing I love about Nydia. She's a fangirl. She knows all about these characters, all these people, and it's just great. Yeah. So I'm going to get this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's just really good. Though at the back of this you have Sam being back as, Falcon, even though he is not back at that yet. Because at the Second Empire, he still kind of is Captain America for a little while. But now currently it's Steve Rogers again. Because some people don't like character development, so have to hit the backwards button. Have to hit the rewind button on a character development, which I think is really stupid on the part of some creators. Alright, next up is Daredevil Back in Black, Volume 5, Supreme. Written by Charles Shaw, which I have not heard that this one's going to get restarted number 1. I have heard nothing. I hope to God it doesn't, because this book does not need another restart because it last had a restart back in 2015. After it had a previous restart in 2014. It does not need another one. No, this man's last 20 issues before it hit its restart the triple with its numbering. Now, with the artwork in here, first you have Garen Sakuza, who does issues 21 23, Alec Morgan does issues 24 and 25, and the last 3 issues are by Ron Gurney. And get this, the cover art is done by several different artists. For issue 21 is Dan Polanski. For 22 is Mike Deodato Jr. and Frank Martin. David Lopez does issues 23 and 24. Ron Garney and Matt Malaya does issues 25 and 26. Matt Malaya also does the last couple issues with Mike Deodato Jr. Now, there are 2 story arcs in here. One is Supreme, which takes up the first 5 issues in here. The last one, I had to look it up here. It deals with Blind Spot. Yeah, it's a story that involves him. Let's see if I can find it here. I know it's in here. And it also involves the Return of the Hand as well. Yep. It is called Land of the Blind. Now, one thing that you gotta love about this arc is that you have Daredevil where he stops wearing this black costume and goes back to wearing the red costume he's not wearing. Yeah, the Supreme storyline is just, trying to justify, let's just say doing a legal reason to have a superhero testify in court, in open court, while keeping his mask on and not forced to remove his mask. And there's a joke in here about Thor when these group of terrorists attack this courtroom which Daredevil testifies, and he tells the judge, that's usually Thor's thing to do. He says, I've always wanted to do that. So apparently this judge is a huge Thor fan, which is amazing. And Wilson Fisk is involved in the storyline as well. Now, in the opening issue, I love this one, where you have a guest star appearance by Luke Cage and Echo, making her first appearance in the main Daredevil title since Bendis was on the book. It's been a long time since she's made an appearance in the main book, or her last appearance prior to this one issue was in the annual this volume had. Yeah. Of course, this volume only had one annual, which they have not bothered to explain how the heck she was resurrected, because last I saw her prior to that was she got killed off in Bendis' run for Moon Knight when Moon Knight was in LA for some reason. I don't know why. Also, this happens. Yeah, he meets up with Jennifer Walters, who's the Grey Hulk. Excuse me. If you want an explanation for that, read her series, which is going to end this month. Really don't like the fact that the She-Hulk series is ending, and there's nothing wrong with the title. I mean, yeah, she's, gray. Hulk has been great before, so why not give She-Hulk a try? Apparently, no one cared to give the book a try because the book is ending. Under the current writer, the book had only published roughly 16 issues. Well, it was a lot more than Show was on the book, which during his run, it managed to last like I think it lasts for like 11 issues before the series had to abruptly end. Was it 11? I think it was 12. Yeah, when Show was writing She-Hulk, which was an amazing book, that book got canceled. And then like 2 years later, she gets a brand new title. Actually, it's more like a year later, she got a brand new title. Yeah. Also, the appearances by Tombstone, Wilson Fisk, James Wesley from the Daredevil Netflix show. When I saw this guy pop on the pages of the Kingpin title, I was like, yeah, good idea to bring this character in. Not a bad idea because he's one of the most interesting original characters they had on that series. So why not bring the guy into Daredevil comics? And here, he appears in here for a couple of issues, which is amazing. And one of the best things, and why is it called Supreme? Because they actually go first to the New York Supreme Court, and then they go to the United States Supreme Court in D.C., where Matt Murdock wins his case. Yeah. The last 3 issues, it's just stuff like with Blind Spot, Return of the character Beast, who is a demon. It's the first time he's popped up in Daredevil at this point when this just came out last year. He had not appeared in the book in 7 years. Yeah, a long time. And also a long time since the Hand showed up. And plus, they even get an origin story for Blind Spot. Though after this storyline wrapped up, Blind Spot did pop up recently in the most recent stuff with the whole Mayor Fist stuff. Yeah, at the end of this, Matt Murdock finds out that somehow, someway, Kingpin is elected mayor of New York. As for how this happened, I have no idea. And he says, he's like, oh. I'm sure he probably says the S word. Like, okay. I think Shaw borrowed this from Wade. You know, having a character who doesn't like the main character very much, who antagonizes him a lot, and then off-panel while he's off someplace, he gets elected mayor of New York City. The last time this happened was in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man when Jameson got elected. When Spider-Man was actually off a different dimension for 3 months. Daredevil was gone for roughly like, I'd say, a couple weeks. Yeah, it's not stated exactly how long he was out of New York for, but it seemed like by the size of his beard, he was probably gone for roughly barely a month. And then all of a sudden, somehow off-panel, Fist have elected mayor, and this leads into the awesome storyline Mayor Fist, which is going to wrap up in issue 600. But this is amazing. I highly recommend this if you're a fan of Daredevil. Now, I've got to point this out. I saw one person to review the first issue of this run, and he dropped after the first issue because he didn't like the tone. I'm like, it's Daredevil. He usually is like this. I mean, not everything has to be like the Mark Waid run of this book. Yeah, it does go back to the style of people like Brian Michael Bendis and Brubaker and Andy Diggle did, but that doesn't mean the tone was bad. It's good, though I know one other person who dropped the book because he didn't mind the tone. I think it was Mike Spire-Slater. He dropped the book for a better reason than what another guy, I'm not going to mention his name. He dropped the book for a couple reasons. One, because he just could not afford to buy every single title, so he wanted to drop something. Drop Daredevil. Because didn't seem like Daredevil had much of a supporting cast anymore because most supporting cast got dropped. And he just didn't know where Cho was going with the book. So I kind of understand his reasoning for dropping the book. The other one, I'm not going to mention his name. As to why he dropped the book, it just seems quite dumb. Okay, he doesn't like the style, so 1 issue, done. Really? You're not going to give him more than 1 issue? You can not give like 3 issues before you drop it? At least Mike Spire-Slater gave it 3 issues before he dropped the series. This other guy just dropped it after like 1 issue. I'm like, seriously? Look, I love Daredevil. I would never drop him as an ongoing series. Why? Because I love this character. He's my favorite character at Marvel. A lot of people think he's a B-list hero. I've never thought of him that way. Why? Because of his frequent interactions with many of the Marvel superheroes, like Spider-Man, Iron Man, The Punisher. He has an interaction with Captain America. Mostly he's interacted in the Marvel Universe with Spider-Man and the Punisher. That's usually the characters you interact with the most. He has interacted with Wolverine, but not very much. As for the Hulk, as far as I know, he's only met the Hulk once. The entire time he's actually a couple times since the entire time he's existed. Yeah, the Hulk has popped up in his comic roughly twice. Heck, there was even an issue during Wade's run where he met the Silver Surfer of all people, a character we never had before or since that storyline wrapped up. Excuse me, but I love what Show is doing with this, and I can't wait for next trade. 9.5 out of 10. This book is amazing. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, where I'm going to go over 2 trades of the Guardians of the Galaxy series. And it's written by, not by Bendis, but by the guy who replaced him on the book. I will talk about that in the next episode, which will be episode 536 and Doubleshot number 443, okay? But until we see you in the next episode, bye.